Am I with a narcissist? Have you ever asked yourself that question because of what's going on in your relationship?
You know something is wrong, but no matter what you do, it doesn't get any better. And somehow you're always to blame no matter what the problems are.
Welcome to the Victim to Warrior Show.
Warrior Talk. We're John and Melissa, and we are survivors of narcissistic abuse. And our mission is to help other survivors reclaim and rebuild their lives.
Today's topic, am I with a narcissist? Have you ever asked yourself that question because of what's going on in your relationship?
You know something is wrong, but no matter what you do, it doesn't get any better. And somehow you're always to blame no matter what the problems are.
Right. So if you're asking yourself that question, am I with a narcissist? How do you know? Well, Melissa and I created a questionnaire for you.
And
So-
this questionnaire is interactive. I'm just going to read off just 5 of them. There are actually 15 questions, and it tallies up your score for you, and it lets you know, hey, maybe you just have somebody that's not really a nice person all the time, but they're not a narcissist.
Yeah, maybe they just have traits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or serious traits that may make you consider whether or not you want to stay in it. Or are they a full-blown narcissist? Most likely a narcissist. And if they are, there's no changing a narcissist. There's no fixing a narcissist. There's no fixing the relationship, no matter how hard you try.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and ask some of these questions.
Right.
Oh, we're going to say
No, so this can really help you understand what do I do with this relationship.
yes.
So you understand if you're with someone like we said that just has traits, or if they're a full blown narcissist, like Melissa said. So yeah, please let's listen to a couple of the questions.
All right. My partner often talks about themselves and their accomplishments without showing any genuine interest in my experience or feelings.
Yeah, so it's all about them.
All exactly. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around my partner, afraid to upset them or trigger their anger.
Does that sound like your home? We talk.
Rage issues.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. That your home is supposed to be a safe place.
Yes.
I know that whenever I got home, I was walking on eggshells because I didn't want to get crazy going, and
that anxiety that you feel when, like you said, it should be your place of refuge, your comfort. And if you are having anxiety about going home or about your partner coming home, that is a huge flag. My partner frequently belittles or criticizes me, making me feel inadequate or worthless. Always chipping away at your self-esteem.
yeah.
That is
Yeah,
that is um the more insecure you are, the easily you are to manipulate and control.
right.
Um, it seems like my partner has a sense of entitlement and expects special treatment or privileges. Well, man, of course they do. Uh,
Now, would we answer that yes or no, or are there varying degrees?
oh,
How we would,
yes, varying degrees. I mean, it could be never, it could be sometimes, rarely, often.
right. So some of these are not
All
yes or no. They're
Rank
somewhat
1 to 5.
right. Okay.
Yeah, so just be honest when you take this. So we're going to put the link in the description below. Be honest when you take this questionnaire because it's going to hurt you if you're not honest. And don't inject yourself into any of these questions. Like we've had some people say, well, they only act like that when I do this or when I don't do that. No, don't put yourself into it. Just be honest. Ask the questions, take the quiz, and it'll tally up the results automatically for you. And here's number 5. My partner becomes visibly upset or angry when they're not the center of attention.
And we're going into the holidays, and boy, is that talk about ruining the holidays because they want to be the center of attention. So
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting how that works. But we want you to take this because we want you to educate yourself. We want you to be honest with yourself. Take the quiz. It'll tally up the results. It'll send it to you. And you'll know what you're dealing with. And you'll know whether or not is the relationship fixable, or do you even want to stay in it, or is it not fixable at all because they are a narcissist?
right. So you took this quiz. What happened when you took it about your ex narcissist?
The total score is 75. Mine scored a 72. Wow. And I think I was being kind on a couple of the questions. A 72.
Out of 75.
Uh,
I don't know if we've ever had someone that scored that high before, but Melissa unfortunately had one of the worst abusive situations.
Ugh.
It was really, really horrible. And she was lucky to get out of it alive, really, honestly.
And in years, I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
I didn't know what the problem was. I kept trying to make things better, be better at what I did, have the house cleaner, the dinner on the table earlier, the clothes done a certain way. And I was working full time. I had an executive job. So it wasn't like I was staying at home where I could possibly have more time to do these things. I was rushing home and then trying to do everything, walking on eggshells. Nothing was ever good enough.
Yeah.
So
That's
I was
exhausting.
I was like beating myself up trying to fix something that there was no way it could possibly.
You can't behave better or
No.
act better or commit more. I mean, there's nothing you can do to fix the situation if you're with a narcissist. And that's the amazing thing about this questionnaire is it can really give you some clarity about what you're dealing with. And so let's say someone takes this test and there's variations of the score. And so if they score where they are in a relationship with a narcissist, what should they do at that point, babe?
Well, like we said, a narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder has no cure.
Right.
There is no cure for it. The person that is the narcissist rarely thinks anything's wrong with them.
Right.
They always think it's someone else. They won't take accountability. They won't genuinely apologize. They absolutely will not change. They can't change.
Yeah.
And being a narcissist can be of two ways. It can be genetics or it can be environmental. They actually grew up in an environment that was hugely abusive and narcissistic, and it's the only way they know how to act. Mine was genetic. His parents were awesome people. His brother was awesome. He was the problem, and he was the problem since he was small.
Yeah.
And all through adults.
So if it scores where you find yourself that you're with a narcissist and as Melissa said, there's no changing to that. There's no fixing that. A couple of things that we might recommend, have a call with Melissa, and it kind of talk through things and figure out, okay, what do I do from here?
Yeah.
What are the best things I
Because
should?
there's a lot of planning to do.
Right.
If you realize what you're in, which is not going to change, it's a life of misery or worse. Planning a safe exit strategy is key. Just blurting out that you want to leave or threatening that you're going to leave if they don't change, that is only going to basically give them the playbook of what you're planning on doing. So they can sabotage you. They can start a smear campaign like happened with John. They
Transfer funds.
Oh gosh, transfer funds.
So you have nothing to.
Yes, no ability to
Right.
leave, or worse, they'll file divorce first and all the money's gone. And then you're trying to figure out how in the world do you hire an attorney? Telling a narcissist you want to leave or you want a divorce is the worst possible thing that you
Right.
really.
Right. We also have a webinar that you can view that is fantastic. The 12 critical steps to take before you leave to really make sure you've got all your ducks in a row before you leave.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple of red flags
Yes.
that if you are not in the relationship yet, let's say you're still dating or you're engaged or you haven't signed the contract where you're going to get into that business relationship, or maybe you have some in-laws or
And you know something's wrong.
Right.
Like, no, Zoe doesn't
you
feel.
know something's wrong. Let's talk about some red flags that, maybe you haven't taken this quiz yet, but you know something's wrong. In fact, I got a direct message today on Instagram from one of our audience, and she kind of outlined everything. And she said, he keeps saying it's going to be different when we're married. Everything will be different when we're married. That is huge red flag.
If something has to happen for it to be better, you need to run from that. That's like, oh, it'll be better once we have children.
Right.
It'll be better once we get married. Weren't you told that?
This is the red flag that I ignored over and over and over again. We dated for 5 years before we got married, and we were engaged for, I think, half a year or something.
And you knew something was
I had more red flags, but I was ignoring a lot of them. But the biggest red flag that I ignored, and I want to make sure you don't, and I wanted to make sure this person didn't, was she kept telling me, "Oh, it'll be different when we're married. I won't be so jealous. I won't be so insecure. I'll be calmer. All of these things were going to change once we got married." And guess what? They didn't.
they got worse.
And then it was too late because now we're married and
Legally trapped.
right, legally trapped. So don't if you're hearing that in your relationship, please don't ignore that. Let's talk about a couple other red flags that might be precursors to something that can really hurt us in our lives. Um,
Well, if they are making excuses financially, like mine did, and I ignored this. I had a great job, um, and he said he had gone through a divorce and had 3 kids, and his ex-wife took him to the cleaners. Of course, all of this was lies. I didn't know it at the time, but he kept encouraging me to pay for things because he was starting a new business. He was starting a new business and he was putting all of his money into the new business, which was going to be a huge success. And then he would pay me back. We would have this amazing life. When someone wants you to bear all the financial responsibility with excuses as to why they're not contributing, or they say they're going to pay you back and they don't ignore that, because if you've got a good job, the problem is they're going to drain your financial resources. I ended up paying for everything,
Yeah.
and it was too late because now we're married, and it was sapping all of the money out of me, and it was very expensive for me to get out of this.
right. And this can happen men and women
Oh,
on both
yes.
sides
Yes.
because this happened to me too, where my ex narcissist really was trying to spend money as fast as I could make it, but also, credit card fraud and other things like that that happened that I wasn't aware of until it was too late. So make sure you're paying attention to these red flags. Now, on our social media channels, we have a series called Red Flag Series,
Yeah.
where we really outline red flags and don't believe your narcissist lies. So we really go deep into some of these series that we do to help you see them, and you might be able to say, wow, this is the exact thing that's going into my relationship right now. So we want to make sure that you have access to this Are They a Narcissist questionnaire. So we'll put the link below. Also, the 12 critical steps to take before you leave. We're going to put that in the description below too, so you can access that if you take this questionnaire and realize you're with a narcissist and you want to make sure you get out safely and don't have to go back if that's your plan. But also, I think that having a call with Melissa is a huge step, and try to understand, okay, I am with a narcissist. I realize that now because of this questionnaire. What do I do? I have
This
no idea what's waiting.
situation. Yeah.
It's great to have Melissa in your corner, men, and I'm happy to help you as well. Men, if you'd like to talk with me instead of Melissa, I'll put my link below as well. But we're so grateful that you've been with us today.
Yeah.
And we're so excited about the opportunity to share this information with you because you know what? It's unfortunate we didn't have this
No.
information. We didn't know, especially me. I mean, this was been quite a while ago. No one knew what a female narcissist was.
Yeah.
And so we had no idea what we were dealing with. I say we because no one in my family were like, who is this person? And what is this?
Especially when they're so different on the outside
Right.
than they are on the inside, and that is a huge red flag as well.
Right.
So don't ignore them. Like John said, we have tons of resources to help you make that decision.
And send us a message.
Yeah.
If you
Put it in a comment.
put in the comments below, tell us what's going on, and we'll be happy to reply. Also, if you want to send us something that's a little bit more private, questions at the v2w.com. I'm going to put that below as well, so you can direct email us.
Yes.
If it's something that you don't want to put on
comments or
something YouTube channel. So also, please check out our website, vv2w.com. I'm going to put that in the link below too.
Resources.
We put these out every single week. So please, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that.
And like it.
And like, yeah, we'd really appreciate the light. Like we said, this is episode 6. This is growing. We're so excited about it because our mission, like Melissa said at the beginning, is to really help survivors reclaim and rebuild their lives. And for folks that haven't unfortunately been into a abusive relationship, we want to help you avoid that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you following us and joining us today. Make sure you subscribe, like John said, and we'll see you next week.